Alrighty then. Welcome to the neighborhood. We're back, Flaminpit Show. How you doing in there, John, with your new equipment and everything?
Yeah, it's like, and today, hopefully, I didn't have the problems that I did yesterday.
I hope so too, because it seemed like when I come on, that's when stuff wants to happen.
Well, we have backup, so anyway, it's going to go up. So it's like,
I don't know if that's going to hold.
Stretch. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to stretch that
I
far.
don't know either. He's over here playing anyways. He ain't got nothing else to do. He's trying to sit up straight. That's what he needs. See, he needs something to hold him.
Exactly.
Because he's looking at your sign going, oh, man, I can't sit up straight.
You can sit back, too. You can sit back a little bit, but not too much.
Scoot this up and then lay this back.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I can do it, John.
Sit up straight. It's not going to be that long, Mark.
It's not going to be that long. Trust me. So anyways, I want to welcome back my guest, Mr. Mark. What the L's? Ellswick. And every time I say your name, I want to say Ellsworth. I don't even know why.
No.
Is that somebody's name or something? Because I always get it confused.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people.
But I know it's Ellswick because you're my baby daddy. You forgot about that one, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Where that child support check at?
You used to always say that. How could I forget that?
Oh, so today I brought Mark on because Mark has a new book out, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, he forgot to bring one to show everybody. I won't tell people that, Mark.
No, don't tell them.
So let's talk about your book. What's the name of it, Mark?
Violent Vows, A Newlywed's Nightmare.
A Newlywed's Nightmare. Now, that's pretty bad when on your newlywed you have a nightmare.
Yeah.
Violent Vows. And it came about how? Is it a true story based on a true story?
No.
Fiction.
Fiction, but could be true. A lot of it's based on things I've heard, things I've seen, and basically the book, the dedication of the book is what the book's all about. Probably, I'm gonna say 5-6 years ago. 5 years ago, maybe 4. I was writing for a newspaper. I was covering a football game and came home Friday night, and turned on the news, and there's a friend of mine. Her picture's plastered up there on the wall behind the anchorman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Jenny. And then I hear him talking. Well, Jenny Webb was found murdered in a ditch up in Bridgeport. Yep. So you know the story.
I know that story. Yeah.
And I heard about that, and that's really a sad situation. And I, for years, wanted to write something centered on domestic violence. And then I heard another story, someone close to me, and a friend of mine and his family. And so I checked into that more and then added up some other stuff I looked at through the years and the stuff with Jenny way back when. And I put this book together, and it's chapter 1 is really adrenaline filled. Then there's some background information like chapters 2 through 8, and then 9, and then 10 through 28 are pretty high octane from what I've heard from other people who've read it. They're like, maybe seemed a little slow to get going, but I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
And it's a trilogy, so I had to do the background stuff. So not right now. I'm working on the second book, and
how do you do a trilogy? I mean, I know someone else that did an anthology, and those things is like, I don't understand how you do that. I don't know if I want to do. Somebody asked me, was I going to do part 2 of my book, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's all fiction. It's 100% fiction. Just stuff I've heard and made it look real. And you write what you feel, what you think. Characters take on their own lives, their own personality when you write fiction, and I can say it's going to happen like this, to that, but I never know till I get going. Then maybe I'm writing about Victor's mom, Deborah, and I was going to write something, but Deborah tells me not to, so I do something else. Or his father, Daniel, I'm going to write something, but Daniel screams at me and tells me not to, so you go a different direction.
You know, I had an author in here a while back a couple years ago, whatever, that guy that was going around killing all the black men.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote his book before that actually happened.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I heard something
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. He wrote his book, and that happened afterwards, and it was just like a true story.
Who was that?
Connor Cohen.
Connor, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah. Connor, yeah.
Connor, yeah. I was surprised because when he said that, I was like, what?
And that's how it happened in
what
real
are the
life,
odds? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now with yours, did yours come out in October because that's Domestic Violence Month?
It came out actually in September.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was September, very early in September.
Well, maybe you should get the second one. Well, the second one is almost out. So by the time you get the third one, now how long did it take you to write it? Because by the time you do the third one, it could actually be Domestic Violence Month, and you could have all three of them out next October.
That's a good idea. That could be the way to work out. But book 2, people have asked me when's the next book coming out. When's the next year? Someone on Facebook. I've been on Facebook every now and then, as you know. I kind of like that. And someone wrote me a message. When's the next book coming out? Don't make us wait years to read the follow-up.
Yeah.
And so I've been working a lot, writing, trying to get this out. And it should be out Black Friday, I'm hoping, in a month.
Yeah, after Thanksgiving.
Yep, day after Thanksgiving. Speaking of Black Friday, saw Facebook.
Wait a minute.
Oh, boy. All right, go ahead.
On Black Friday, he said, speaking of Black
No.
Friday.
No.
Why is it called Black Friday
Why is it gotta be
anyways?
black?
Why couldn't it be White Friday?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I saw a thing on Facebook yesterday. It's hilarious. It said only in America, where Black Friday, you have people running, scurrying, pushing to get things, save $20 on something.
Right.
The day after, they're thankful for everything they have.
Right. Because they got to run now and get the stuff ready for Christmas.
They should call it Green
Only
Friday.
in America.
They should call it Green Friday.
Yeah,
They
that's what it's
get
about.
all the money.
Yeah, that's when they make the money. Yep.
Well, I think they could call it Deadly Friday too, because people act really crazy. I mean, when you see the videos every year, somebody's gotten hurt really bad because when they open the doors of Walmart, everybody go crazy. I mean, there's a Walmart in damn near every state. When we were in Alaska, there was a Walmart in the town we were in. So, I mean, it's not like we have a lack of Walmarts.
Yeah.
And to have everybody go crazy like that, oh, I'm going to get a TV for $50. Well, in 3 days, you're going to get that same TV for $60. So what's the problem?
Well, you save that $10.
Yeah, I mean, what the problem is? But now you got to go in there and you get scraped up, beat up people.
Do you do the Black Friday
Hell
shopping?
no.
I've done it like twice.
No, I did it one time, and when I got to Target, the line was from the door all the way across past Bob Evans.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there, and I thought, well, I'll just go and stand up beside the building and just let everybody go, and I'll stand up by the building. Oh, them women in line was ready to snatch a knot in my ass. They was like, oh, no, she's not thinking she gonna cut in. And so I was standing there like this, sort of chuckling to myself, going, you don't ever have to worry about me cutting in, because y'all crazy.
That's it, too.
But, but I think if you get your third book out, if it only takes you 2 months, 3 months to get your third book out, then you'll be good for domestic violence. You can get all three. You can have a special. You can donate. You can, plan an event around them.
I'll have specials on Black Friday. That's a big literary
People buy
sale.
books on Black
Yeah.
Friday?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really download a lot. So download the ebook of Violent Vows
Elisa,
and
you should go
Vows
sit,
of Vengeance.
get a bunch of books, you have your books together, and then go out to the shopping center and wait out there, put up a booth. That might be
Oh,
what- that-
Black Friday?
Right.
They will run me over.
Yeah, but the thing is, then he might feel bad for you and come back and buy a book or give you money. See?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit out there with me a little cup. Maybe if I have
You
Mark
blend
sit,
in.
I can have Mark sit with me. Then they'll be attracted to him. So then we both can sell. We'd be like, "Come on, see Mark, see Mark." That's a plan, Mark. We're gonna make us some money one way or another.
You gave me a great idea though. Book 3 next October. Book 2 Black Friday. But then there are some other things I'm working on. There's Fatal Fall, which I won't get into, but that I am so excited about that. That's football and brain injury.
Oh,
And
now
that's
you
what
know
that's
they've been
about.
having that in the news, like with the Michigan State boy. You know, knocked him into a concussion and then still let him go out and play.
Yep.
So now, are the books gonna be Violent Vows like 1, 2, and 3, or each one named something different?
It's the Vows series.
Oh.
Violent Vows. Then book 2 is Vows of Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
And book 3, you're gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be something vows. but-
Something violent. That's what it's gonna be. Because
Versus
all 3 of them
violence.
gonna be violent.
Yeah.
What made you think of doing something like that? I mean, it's.
I've wanted to do it for ever since Jenny's murder. I wanted to bring awareness to how serious of a crime domestic violence is,
Yeah.
and since Jenny's misfortune, I've always wanted to. I had a little bit in my family that also goes into that. Then this and
It's just
Violent
out there.
Vows
People
created.
just crazy.
you're right.
They're just crazy. I think the world's coming to an end.
Let me ask you this. All right. To me, the reason I wrote Violent Vows the way I did and all the drama after it, and I'm not a counselor, I'm not anything, but I don't understand how women, I don't understand. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm not saying they're wrong, but if, I'm going to say this for my writing buddy, Saida Lee Rain. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, don't marry them after they threaten your life or
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, if you see the signs before, then to me it's time to hit the door. Hey, I rhymed.
Hey, Dr. Seuss would be proud.
But the thing is, that's always been my theory is like if you see signs of that, like while you're dating, there's no need to get married because now you're married into it.
I'm slouching. Whoop. Sorry, John.
But I don't understand it either. That's one of the things I don't understand either. And I really don't know what to say about people that allow themselves to stay in it. You know, they always say it's not as easy to get out of it as you can't,
Yep.
you know. But my thing is, if you see it from the beginning, then don't go into it.
Exactly.
You know, you can love somebody from afar.
I agree.
far.
I agree, but
But I don't know about that, but all that other stuff. But I think it would be a good thing to, like you said, if you want to put it out there and, you know, want to support it and promote your book and just like get people talking about it. Because I think more people need to talk about it. But
Bingo.
some people are afraid because of the stigma, you're in a bad relationship. And then some people be just like, mind your own damn business.
yeah.
And then sometimes you're afraid to get involved because, you know, the next 10 minutes they're going to be back in the bed with them. And you done went on out there and tried to help them out and everything. And the next minute they, oh, we in love again.
Yeah.
and that's a true fact.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm always befuddled. I'll probably never get married again if I had to go through anything like that.
Yeah. I hear it. That's
know.
like get people talking. I think violent vows definitely will has people talking,
Mm-hmm.
and Vows of Vengeance is gonna have you talking more.
Right.
Just the nature of how brutal it can be.
Yeah.
You see the sign. Get out. It can be that brutal.
If you Are you going to include pictures of brutality?
No,
Okay.
no illustrations.
Yeah, because sometimes, like when I look at, when Maury Povich has his shows of the guys that brutalize the women, and the women show pictures of themselves. Like the one guy was on regular TV where he set his woman on fire in the store, and then Maury, they showed pictures of how bad she was and everything, and it's like, and then it was a show to teach these young girls about not getting involved with all these guys out here doing crazy stuff and having controlling men in their lives. And the lady, one guy, he like stabbed her so many times, he like broke the knife off in her. I mean, those kind of things is just so graphic, and it's like, does everybody need to see a picture of something like that to ward off the idea that you so in love you can't leave this person, or you want to marry him anyways even though you know this is a possibility?
I'm not into pictures, especially that. I like to watch, but not that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could write something like that, because, I mean, it was hard for me to write my book, and I just consider it an autobio. It's like the people that's read it, they're like, they cry a little, they laugh a little. And I'm saying it's like a movie, you never know what you're going to get from chapter to chapter. But with yours being focused on violence,
Everything's centered around that.
yeah. Now, before this, you had another book. This is How I Met You. You had another book,
Padman.
That it was hilarious. Now, how is that book going? Because I know you got some awards and stuff for that book.
It's been a couple years, so it's over, but
the rush is over.
But I still have a few.
Lisa, it was nominated for a Pushcart Award, which is very prestigious.
Yeah, that's what
that
I
was
don't
very
even know
prestigious.
what that is.
It's for new artists or new writers, basically. I mean, it's not new. I mean, not always new, but it's actually, this panel was set up by we started awarding this years ago. Was set up by a pretty esteemed panel of authors themselves. So it's a very prestigious, award to even be nominated for. So that was when I heard that, I said, "Wow, this is amazing. This is like." I mean, that's like, we know the talent pool in Flint and around the area is pretty high. I mean, it really is. Yeah. But when you see that and you talk to this person and like, wow, this is cool. This person actually wrote something that everybody else who is in the business thought so highly of. That was like a Pushcart Award nominee, and that's hats off, Mark. That was really great.
I was surprised. John, one of the first times I was ever here, John's, you were nominated for a Pushcart Prize? I was like, yeah, because when I was, my publisher told me, you're nominated for a Pushcart Prize. I'm like, yeah. What is that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because I was like, what is it?
I think anyone I've told that to, they're always like, what's that?
Right. I've never heard of it, but then I'm not in the literary world. I read a lot of books, but I've never written one. I wouldn't know any of the awards or anything like that.
Because I was surprised in the college, we worked at the library together,
right.
And that's actually, they usually have a section of books that are like for nominations for that year. They always put them out there, in a display that these were the nominations for the Pushcart Award that year. And many of the college university libraries, or even the public ones. So that's that's a hell of an achievement. It really
Do they
is.
give you money for that?
I wish. No. No money.
What?
No money.
I want some money with my
Just
award.
one of those
Pat
things,
on the backs. Well, then maybe this next set will get you an award too, because it sounds like it's going to be interesting. But the first one was kind of hilarious. Now, it was a true story of...
Padman, you're going back to.
Yeah, that one was like a true story.
Yeah.
Like your life. And
Pretty much a lot
now,
of it.
was that considered an autobio?
No, not really, because basically it was stories about me, my daughter, and then a couple everyday funny stories. Four of them. 4 stories of me and my daughter. 4 stories of everyday life funny stories, and 4 stories of survivors. 3 traumatic brain injury, including my own.
Right.
And then 1 of a day I spent in a cancer chemo institute.
That you spent there.
Yeah. A friend of mine was receiving chemo, and I talked to her, and I said, I want to go with you. And so I went down there with her and sat with her, and it was really a good time. There was Chris and Scott Gibson, I believe it's Gibson, I apologize if I'm wrong, and Scott was like, you are hilarious. Scott is just like you, he's hilarious. And we just sat there and laughed. Everybody in that building was cracking up. So it was great.
Wow. Well, I've never been through that. My sister is in remission from cancer. I did get to go with her to a radiation treatment. She's in Arkansas and I'm here, so I didn't get to go down and experience that. But that's one of those things. It's like when she had to go in for radiation, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm just waiting. And it's like 12 minutes and you're over. It's like, what? That's it? And then, you know, she's talking about all the things, had to go to the hospital, you know, every day at first, and then you start going every week, and then every couple weeks, and you got to take shots in your stomach, and I'm just like freaking out going, oh, I don't think I've been through it. You know, I think that's kind of rough. As much as I hate needles, I'd be running around the room. They'd be like, Lisa, come and lay down. They got to strap me down.
I am petrified of needles. I don't. They take my blood. I won't even watch.
You know, I'm like that about blood, but you know, tattoos and piercings don't bother me as much as getting blood drawn.
You know, tattoos.
I'm gonna take you with me. You gonna get a tat? How about that?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not.
We're gonna knock you out. You gonna get a tat, and then you're gonna have to put it in your book.
I joke around. I tell my girlfriend about tattoos. How many
does she have?
No. How many Ferraris you see rolling on the road with a bumper sticker on?
To say what?
None.
Are you a Ferrari?
Exactly. Now
I thought you was a VW. Well, that's all right. I could be a Bentley, but I got my tats.
All right.
I mean, I can't give them back. And once I started, it was just so addictive. It's like you want to get more.
That's what I've heard.
I think you should just get one. Be done with it. Get one.
No, I'm not getting one.
For your 50th birthday.
That's not for another 25 years.
You are full of shit. I'm glad I can't say what I want to say.
No, I'm not getting a tattoo.
So what else have you been doing since we last saw you besides writing books?
I've been writing and...
You've been going some places because you was on Facebook saying you had been doing some traveling. Now that was for your...
I went down south for a little bit, for a little over a month. And I planned on heading back somewhere south, somewhere warmer.
No, it's hot down there. It's not warm.
No.
You're going to come back black as I am, so you better be careful. You're going to be black with blue eyes, I'm telling you. That's why I won't move south. It's too damn hot.
But in November, December, January...
Some places it's still 85 degrees.
I'll take that any day over the winter we had last year.
Well, last year was a fluke. And
no.
Yeah, it was
horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible, but it was a fluke because we haven't had anything like that for a long time before.
Then every house was out of power around here, so
mine wasn't.
You didn't lose power?
We didn't lose power. I got an old house. See, you must have a newer house. All your shit fall apart.
I was out power for 5 days, and you were sitting there all warm. Yeah, I lost power. I
didn't lose power.
And luckily, I still had the gas coming in for the heat, and I had heat there. I mean, no, I didn't have heat because I didn't have the blower.
Yeah,
but I had hot water.
Community, I mean, I've been in my house 16 years, and I think I've only lost power probably 2, maybe 3 times. And the first couple of times, it was just like a quick off and back on. And then another time, we were down for like almost 24 hours. And that was it.
Oh, this was weeks and weeks. It was horrible last year.
I guess it would be if it was weeks and weeks.
It was. We were at least 2 weeks.
See?
I was out for 5 days, and I'm in the city, so that was 5 days. And it was colder than...
Yeah.
It was probably the cold. I was sitting there I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to go outside to get warmed up. I'm serious.
I know, go play in the snow.
Exactly.
Because I know the one day that we didn't have it for 24 hours, me and my son went to the hotel, and we just hung out at the hotel, and my neighbor was like, y'all going to the hotel? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, the power will be back on. It's like, it's okay. We got over there about 10 o'clock that night. She called me and said, oh, the power's back on. I was like, okay, well, we watching TV. We'll get back when we get back. So we just stayed there. I'm like, I got to get my money's worth. But You know, that's what the hotels are for. And my son loved it. It's like call room service.
That's like a mini vacation.
That's what I'm saying. You know, you got power, you got a shower, you know, you got your TV and everything. But, you know, but I thought I had seen that you were going, because you were supposed to have been going somewhere to do some speaking on the traumatic brain injury.
Oh yeah, I did that. Went to Texas and Arkansas, your neck of the woods,
Right.
and spoke. I was planning on doing it a lot longer, but Texas is huge.
Yes.
The map doesn't do it justice.
And it's very hot.
At $4 a gallon gas, driving, you had to go to get from one spot to another. 5 hours. That was done. Go back. I can't
The
afford
cost
this
of gas. I know.
Exactly.
I know. Well, see, that's when you have to get you a tour bus.
Yeah.
You have to like get you a sponsor and have
There
your
we
face
go.
on the side of it.
I don't know
I'm
about
thinking
all
big
that.
for you.
All kinds of eggs gonna be lost
Ah,
with that.
No, no, women be chasing the bus. It's
I
mine,
wouldn't
it's
say
mine.
But yeah, a sponsor would be nice to do that.
Yeah, that would.
I've talked to a few places, Tennessee, Kentucky, that area. I really, really want to get down there and speak. And I've talked to a few places down there. I'm actually doing a speaking thing here November 22nd. I just found out about not long ago. And that's going to kick off the relaunch maybe? Yeah, there we go.
Relaunch.
I appreciate it. That's going to kick that off, and I need to do that and get the rust off, hopefully. And
So you got to start practicing your speaking
I
now.
got it. I have everything saved, and I have the whole speech. I'll tweak it.
So you do
everywhere I
the
go.
same speech and you just
I tweak
modify
it
it
a
for
lot.
where you are?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I don't care. I don't mean to,
Why
but
does
it's
it sound
really
like you're
good.
bragging because you survived
No,
an injury?
no. The speech is really good, and you need to hear it. It's kind of like someone talking. I heard someone on the radio talking about this. Why do you want to go hear something if it's repeated, just change a little bit? Why do you go to a concert to hear Bon Jovi sing a song when you hear it on the same thing on the radio all the time?
Well, and that's what they do at concerts.
Yeah.
They just they switch them in order, whatever, but they're basically all the same songs.
Exactly.
So if you go to different places, then they expect you to do the same speech.
Pretty much.
So what the problem is?
There's no problem with me. Not at all.
So are you going to do any speaking engagements? Now, is this around here?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the name is though, but it's nothing. It's nothing huge, but I'm just doing that. It's like I said, to get the rust off and get.
Like when
things
you were
back in order.
at the library in Davison?
That was cool. Those are great people out there. Mary Higginbottom.
I know.
She's awesome.
Yeah. When I talked to the head of GDL about my books, and he was like, "Oh, sure, just tell him whatever his name was. Told you that you could drop some books off." So I just put one in Davison and one in Burton.
All right.
And so then I have to check with GISD. U of M was supposed to take a couple copies, so I don't know. I want them in bookstores.
Yeah. Did you ever talk to Mary in Davison? I'm gonna stop by there and talk to her, and you gotta meet her. Really nice lady.
Yeah.
That'll help.
But I'll tell her Mark sent me.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Mark, what the L's?
I don't know if she knows what the L's, but.
You don't know what the L's mean.
Oh,
You didn't bring
I know
a
what
book.
the L's.
You
I
didn't
did
bring a
forget to
book.
bring it back. Kimberly did that, but I blame John.
That's right. And even after we talked, you said, "I got to bring that one book. I got to bring the book."
Exactly.
So, yeah, John, it's your fault. You didn't remind him.
I
You
didn't
should
even
have
know.
called me or texted me.
I don't
Bring a
even know.
book.
I don't even know if I still have you. Remember, you used to do a show from here. Yeah, remember? Can you hear me or? Yeah.
He said you used to do a show for him.
I know, but
Yeah, it's like I don't even know if I got his number.
you
But
didn't remind me, John. Quit trying to make excuses.
I forgot you're gonna be
This is
here.
your fault. Your studio, your fault.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I didn't know. I forgot that she was going to have you as a guest today. So
Yeah, he called me last
Oh, wait,
night.
what was that? You forgot?
Yeah,
Is that
I
what you said?
forgot.
It's that old age on both of y'all, because I didn't forget.
John's climbing that seniority ladder.
Both of y'all.
No.
No, John's a little bit older.
Mark, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not as old
He's
as you
just
are.
the
old are you?
baby. No,
How
I'm
old are you?
older than
51.
How old are you, John?
51. 51.
31.
51. I wish
Nobody
31.
want to lie about the age but Mark. Because I don't lie about mine. And anybody asks me, I'm like 61. That's it. I don't care. When you start lying about your age, now you got to keep it up.
Talk to me about how did you come up with your book? What?
Oh, now he's
inspired
going to
you?
interview me?
No, I'm just curious. We were talking back over there before we started. And
Well,
I
the way-
didn't have time to ask you all that stuff. Sorry.
Well, the way my book came about was when I was 20 years old, I'd always wanted to write a book about my life because I figure as a polio survivor, I mean, people don't talk about polio. They talk about cancer and they talk about stuff like that. So I always wanted to talk about it because, people don't know, but they won't ask. So when I was in my 20s, I was thinking I was going to write it, but then I thought, well, I haven't lived long enough. I want to write more. I hadn't been married or anything like that, so I really didn't have anything to write about. I was just a party girl. And then when I finally decided to do it, it took me 2 years.
Hang on 1 second. Lisa was the type. She had the big afro, had the pick sticking out of her afro. We were looking at pictures. That's how Lisa was. Get the book, you'll see the picture. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
The Angela Davis afro. But that's basically what it was. I just decided after retirement, then I would just sit down and try to write. It took me 2 years. And the last 6 months, I shut down a whole lot of things that I was doing just to push through. And so it worked out really good. But like I say, for the people that read, I haven't had anybody to say it wasn't good. Everybody said they like it. They cried. They need a box of Kleenex. And, it's really a good book because even when I was writing it, I was crying. When I was reading, I was interviewed on a show a couple weeks back. The first part of October, I was interviewed on the show, and I had to talk about it. And I picked it. I opened it to read a chapter, and then I started getting choked up. I was like, oh. That's bad. That's bad. I'm like trying to keep it down while I'm trying to read a chapter. But anyways, you can go to lulu.com and get this book, and I would greatly appreciate it. So anyways, I want to take that away from Mark, though, because we want you to get his book, too.
Circle the picture with the big afro. You may have seen it on Good Times years ago.
Yeah, I was the one in the bell bottoms.
Yeah, bell bottoms, the afro.
Afro, and but like this. It's like this. But tell everybody where we can get your book, Mark, and the date or whenever the second one is coming out.
All right, you can get Violent Vows, A New Lewd's Nightmare on Amazon.com or CreateSpace.com, either or. Or you can get it from me.
In the trunk of his car.
Yeah, I'm actually out. I went through 3 shipments, so I have to order more. I'll be the 4th shipment, probably like in a week or so. But you can order from me. $12 is my charge for the book, and then $3 shipping handling, so $15. And that's just send a check money order to P.O. Box 7121, Flint, Michigan, Flint. I got that right.
Yeah. You don't even live in Flint.
And then 48507. Send a check money order, and I'll send you a signed copy of the book, or you can go to Amazon.
Because when he become rich and famous, we all going to get a cut of that. I'm looking for my child support check. I'm going to get that money one way or another.
Oh, boy.
Well, I want to thank you, Mark, for coming in. It's been real. It's been really real. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, and you'd sort of disappeared off Facebook. So I was glad to see you back and that you have come up with a new book. So when you get your batch in, just remember we're swapping books.
Yep, I will remember now.
And in case you need one ahead of time, everybody's just going to be in trouble like me because he doesn't have any.
I don't either,
but
should
anyways.
Be within a week.
Within a week. And they can also find you on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's, are you on the Flint Authors? No, you on the author Mark.
Yeah, you can just Mark Elswick, ELSWICK, or author Mark Ellswick is the like page. Just like that. Please like it. Hey, please like it.
He's one of the good guys, so like it. So anyways, Ron, thank you for coming in, and we're going to sign off today. It's Flaminpit, and we're out.